Wagwa popcorn.
With you, what's popping, what's happening, and what's cracking.
I'm Selena.
Chantel.
Sabrina.
And Tanjanika.
We're from the Caribbean.
Jamaica.
And Guyana.
When we first came to New York, we thought everything would be gold, seeing celebrities every day, and life would be easy, but none of this is true. New York is dirty. It's nothing like the Caribbean. Fun on the beach and dance parties almost every day. One thing about New York though, we can't wait for the Labor Day parade.
We live in New York, but a yard we think there's still.
This means we live in New York, but we will always love our roots. We all attend high school for global citizenship in Crown Heights. Around the school, there are different types of people. It's like a mini world in one neighborhood. We thought everyone in this neighborhood would be friendly, like in the Caribbean. Wrong. Asking for directions is hard. Some people tell us to speak English because of our accents. Also, of all the people in this neighborhood, we were most afraid to ask a Jewish person because we heard that the Jews are mean.
They're nasty.
They don't take showers.
They practice incest.
They cook only one time for the week.
They're all rich.
And they own everything in New York City.
People like the stereotype. And I think that when you don't know much about a community, then you make up things.
This is our U.S. history teacher, Miss Ali.
So when you don't know something, then you tend to create a lot of falsehoods rather than asking the community, well, what is life like? Now, with the Jewish community in Crown Heights, they are kind of like a very close-knit group. So they really don't allow other people to come in. But because they don't allow other people to come in, people run and they make their own assumptions based on what other people say. I mean, have you spoken to any of the Jewish people in this neighborhood?
No, but we did get to talk to Mr. Aldubi. He's our music teacher. Are you a Jew, Mr. Aldubi?
Yes, I am Jewish.
I didn't even know he was Jewish. I thought he would have long hair on the sides, a beard, a little black hat, and we're all black. But he dresses regular, with pants and a dress shirt. And he's clean shaven, even his head.
You have different streams of Judaism. So you have Orthodoxy, which is, the strictest one, and then you have the conservative movement, and you have the Reform movement, and the Reconstructionist, and the Humanist one.
After me never know there's so much type of Jews about.
That's Potter for. I didn't know there were so many types of Jews. It's like how there are many types of black people in Crown Heights. It's very diverse. You can't really tell where a person is from by just looking at them.
Yeah.
Like Tanjanika.
People think I'm Jamaican, but actually, I'm Guyanese, Jamaican, and Bayesian.
And then we heard the song One Day.
We're now on YouTube.
We thought the man singing the song was Bob Marley's son, Junior Gong. But we found out his name is Mattis Yahoo, and he's an Orthodox Jew.
Oh my God.
Wow. We have so much more learning to do.
Nice.
All right.
Yes, Miss Ali, can you
We
tell
were
us?
in Miss Ali's room when we watched a short documentary called Living Apart. It showed us about Crown Heights 20 years after the riots. We couldn't believe there was a riot. We also learned that the Jews in this neighborhood are Lubavitch. The riots were between the blacks and the Lubavitch Jews in Crown Heights.
The incident sparked acts of vandalism and rioting directed towards Jews.
And all
And a few
because
hours
rumors
after the
spread
riots
like the
began.
flu. You can pass it on till everyone catches
An
it.
uproar last night, but worse tonight.
After hearing about the riots, we wonder if the gap between the people got bigger. We spoke with a man who works in a church on Kingston Avenue who felt that nothing's really changed 20 years after the riots.
The black people in this community still feel that they are disrespected. The Jews in the community still feel that they are disrespected. People just kind of coexist. They don't argue and fight, but
We walked around Crown Heights and asked different people about the Jewish community. We met
My
Yvonne,
name is Yvonne Grimes.
who was born in the Caribbean and lived in Crown Heights for many years. She believes it's not a bad thing that the Jews are very close-knit.
They actually have their own community. They're taken care of by each other. They take care of each other. They have their own police. They have their own ambulances for the hospital. And they stick together.
To some, it looks like the Jewish people must think they're better than everyone else. But this happens. Even in the Caribbean, people think Trinidadians think they are better than the Jamaicans, and the Jamaicans think they are better than the rest. We spoke with someone from within the community, like Miss Ali suggested. Ilana and her husband David.
name is Ilana.
David Spencer.
They are
and I am
Lubavitch Jews
Lana's husband.
who live in Crown Heights. They explained to us why the Lubavitch Jews have their own ambulances called Hatzola.
Ambulances weren't coming to the Jews as quickly. So they created a volunteer EMT service. People got trained or were already trained, and people donated money towards volunteer ambulances. and people donated their time.
We wish we had this in every community, but we still don't understand why they're separate from the rest of the neighborhood.
Because they have a belief that it's important to preserve Jewish culture and Jewish tradition. And there's a belief that in order to do that, we have to shelter the kids and maybe even the adults from outside influences that would take away from that.
At first, we thought they were being racist, but now we realize that they're separate because they want to preserve their religion. Like David says, this can lead to a lot of misconceptions.
And it is driven by a lot of history that a lot of Jews feel that non-Jews in general are anti-Semitic. And especially when you are dealing, with 20 years ago, you had, very, one of the worst clashes between two cultures. It's healing from that. I think it is a very difficult thing, and really it is hard, I think, on our side too, to get people who really have the drive and really want to build bridges.
It's really hard to communicate, trust me, especially when you're the new guy around the block. Also, people have a lot of things going on in their own lives. They have enough to think about. Just for us to even learn more about the Lubavitch Jews in the neighborhood, it took a lot of digging up. First, it was scary because we didn't know anything about them. We went to the library. We had to ask questions to strangers around the neighborhood. And it was a lot of work, and we still don't fully understand. We met with Amy Ellenbogen. She is the director of the Crown Heights Community Mediation Center. Amy was able to help us meet with 5 Chabad Lubavitch girls from a yeshiva high school around the neighborhood. We were all nervous, and we thought we might say something wrong. We went around to tell each other what we've heard people say about our own culture or about others. The room got quiet and kind of tense. Then Selena volunteered.
That we Jamaicans are violent. Yes.
Are you?
No. No, we're not.
Who says that? Sometimes we could sometimes we'll get angry, but we won't get out of hand, get hurt anybody.
So who's the shooting people?
Huh?
Who does all the shooting?
I can't believe she just said that.
Different people from different places.
I felt offended at first, but then again, we were making assumptions about the Jews too. It hurts when you hear things that aren't true.
I think it's important for people to do more than coexist when they're from different backgrounds in the same neighborhood.
Like, should there be a Jamaican community and the Lubavitch community separate, or should they all be one big community?
So what would be more than coexisting?
To be able to work together.
To be friends together?
Okay,
more
and
interaction.
share. That also means school together, eating together. Yeah. But also, our religion has a lot of strict guidelines. We can't eat your food. We can't marry you. We don't dress the same.
I would want to marry anyone I want. It must be really hard for them to follow the rules, especially being in a city like New York.
We may not eat the same food, but why can't we do things together? Maybe enjoy the Labor Day parade together. But it seems for the Lubavitch, it's often not okay for them to do things outside of the community.
The Orthodox movement, it developed during a time when people hadn't gained that value yet of insularity. And that's when a lot of Jews dropped their Judaism, just because the outside world can be very appealing, and the gefilte fish and the fedoras maybe not so much.
The bottom line, it just has to do with, between the battle between being in the modern world and holding true to the traditions.
There's a feeling like preservation of Jewish culture and Jewish thought is extremely, extremely important, almost more than anything else. And many other things are considered a threat to something pure.
In the beginning, we felt a certain way about the Jewish people because each of us had a bad experience or was given the wrong information. And from then on, we just made generalizations about a whole group of people. Now, when we see a Lubavitch person in the neighborhood, we won't think they're racist. But just because we're learning about each other doesn't mean it's going to be like a party where everybody is happy and having a good time. If people just talk it out and listen to each other, things should be okay in Crown Heights. We're rookie reporters Sabrina Smith,
Chantel Clark,
Selena Brown,
and Tanjanika Taylor.
Signing out.
Bye.